The Forgotten Kingdom. Long ago, in a land far beyond the mountains and oceans, there was a hidden kingdom called Evermere. It was a land of peace and magic, where the people lived in harmony with nature. Evermere was surrounded by golden fields, sparkling rivers, and enchanted forests. The kingdom was ruled by King Alden, a wise and kind ruler, and his daughter, Princess Eorar, who was loved by all. But one day, a great darkness fell over Evermere. A mysterious curse spread across the land, causing the rivers to dry, the fields to turn to dust, and the sky to lose its color. The people whispered about a legend, a prophecy that spoke of a chosen one who would restore Evermere's light. Chapter 2. The Young Traveler. Far away, in a small village, there lived a young man named Rowan. He was an orphan, raised by an old storyteller who filled his childhood with tales of lost kingdoms and magical lands. One evening, as Rowan sat by the fire, the old storyteller told him about Evermere's curse. Only a heart filled with courage and kindness can break the darkness, the old man said. Rowan felt a strange calling in his heart. That night, as he slept, he had a dream. He saw a golden bird flying across the sky, leading him toward a towering castle. A voice whispered, "Find the lost city. Restore the light." When he woke up, he knew what he had to do. He packed his bag, took a deep breath, and began his journey toward Evermere. Chapter 3. The Enchanted Forest. Rowan traveled for many days, crossing mountains, rivers, and deep valleys. Finally, he reached the edge of a dense forest, the enchanted forest of Eldenwood. As he stepped inside, the trees seemed to whisper his name. Golden fireflies lit the path, and the air was filled with the scent of wildflowers. But soon he heard a rustling sound. Out of the shadows appeared a mystical creature, a talking fox named Finn. "You must be the traveler," Finn said. "If you seek Evermere, you must pass the 3 trials." The fox led Rowan to a glowing pond, where the first trial awaited. The trial of reflection. Rowan had to look into the water and face his greatest fear. As he stared at his reflection, he saw moments of doubt and loneliness, but he also saw his courage and strength. With a deep breath, he accepted his past and stepped forward. The water glowed, and the first trial was complete. Chapter 8. The Journey to the Ocean Kingdom. After restoring Evermere, Rowan felt a new calling. One night, he dreamed of a deep blue ocean where a voice whispered, "Find the Pearl of Tides. Only then will the sea sing again." Rowan knew this was his next quest. The people of Evermere prepared a ship for him, and Princess Lara gifted him a silver compass that always pointed toward his destiny. As the sun rose, he sailed toward the unknown, guided by the gentle waves and the cries of seagulls. Days passed, and suddenly the sea turned dark and stormy. The wind roared, and huge waves crashed against the ship. Then, out of the mist, a figure appeared, a mermaid with shimmering blue scales and glowing eyes. "Who dares to sail these cursed waters?" she asked. Rowan bowed respectfully and said, "I seek the Pearl of Tides, to restore the song of the sea." The mermaid studied him for a moment, then said, "If your heart is true, follow me." With that, she dove into the sea, and Rowan followed her into the unknown. Spiral Shell. Chapter 9. The Cave of Whispers. The mermaid led Rowan to an underwater cave, where the Pearl of Tides was hidden. The cave walls glowed with tiny, bioluminescent fish, and the water was crystal clear. But the pearl was guarded by an ancient sea serpent, a creature with silver scales and golden eyes. "Only those who understand the language of the sea may take the pearl," the serpent hissed. Rowan listened carefully. The ocean had a rhythm, a whisper, a song. He closed his eyes and let the sounds guide him. Then he spoke. "The sea sings of love, of storms and calm. It whispers secrets and carries dreams. I hear its voice." The sea serpent smiled and moved aside. Rowan gently took the Pearl of Tides, and at that moment, the ocean lit up with magic. The curse was lifted, and the waves danced again. The mermaid thanked Rowan and guided him back to his ship. As he sailed away, the ocean sang a song, a melody of gratitude. Chapter 10. The Desert of Echoes. Rowan's journey continued. His next destination was the Desert of Echoes, a vast land of golden sand dunes and ancient ruins. He met a group of nomads, travelers who knew the secrets of the desert. Their leader, an old man named Zephyr, told Rowan about the Whispering Sands, a hidden valley where the winds spoke of forgotten stories. But beware, Zephyr warned, the desert tests those who enter. Rowan set off at dawn, the sun rising like a golden coin in the sky. The sand beneath his feet was warm, and the air smelled of spices and distant rain. As he walked, he began to hear whispers, voices from the past. They spoke of lost cities, ancient kings, and hidden wisdom. Then the wind formed a whirling sandstorm, and a shadowy figure appeared, a guardian of the desert. "To pass, you must answer a riddle," the guardian said. "I speak without a mouth. I hear without ears. I am invisible, yet I can be heard. What am I?" Rowan thought for a moment, then smiled. "An echo." The guardian nodded, and the storm calmed. Rowan had passed the test. At the heart of the desert, he found an ancient library buried beneath the sand, filled with scrolls of forgotten knowledge. He spent days reading, learning the wisdom of those who came before. Then, with a heart full of stories, he continued his journey. Alps. Chapter 11. The Mountain of Eternal Snow. Rowan traveled north, where the air grew cold and the land turned white with endless snow. He had heard of a mystical flame hidden in the highest peak, a fire that never died. The climb was difficult. Ice-cold winds howled, and the path was slippery, but Rowan didn't give up. At the summit, he found a golden flame burning in the snow. It was warm, yet it didn't melt the ice. A voice echoed through the wind. "Only those with unwavering determination may take the flame." Rowan reached out, and the flame wrapped around his hand like a warm breeze. He felt strength and courage fill his soul. Chapter 12. The Festival of 1,000 Lights. After many adventures, Rowan returned to Evermere, where a grand festival was being held. The people welcomed him as a hero, and lanterns filled the night sky. Music played, and children danced around the fountain. Princess Laura smiled and said, "Rowan, you have brought light to every place you've traveled. But tell me, what have you learned?" Rowan looked at the sky, filled with stars and lanterns, and said, "I have learned that true treasure is not gold or jewels. It is knowledge, kindness, and the stories we share." The people cheered, and the festival continued late into the night. Rowan had traveled far, but his journey was never truly over. There would always be new lands to explore, new stories to tell, and new wisdom to discover. And so, under a sky of 1,000 lights, his next adventure began. The end. The Hidden Castle. After passing the 3 trials, Rowan finally reached Evermere's lost castle. The castle was covered in vines, its towers reaching the sky. Inside, he found Princess Eoarar, who had been waiting for him. "You are the one from the prophecy," she said. "Together, we must restore the El. To lift the curse, they needed to find the heart of Evermere, a crystal hidden deep beneath the castle. Through secret passageways and ancient halls, they searched until they found a locked door with an inscription. "Only those who believe in the light can open this door." Rowan placed his hand on the door and whispered, "I believe." The door opened, revealing a glowing blue crystal. As soon as Rowan touched it, a burst of golden light filled the room. Chapter 5. The Return of Light. The darkness that had covered Evermere began to fade. The rivers flowed again, the sky turned blue, and the golden fields returned. The people of Evermere cheered with joy. Rowan had fulfilled the prophecy. The kingdom was restored, and Evermere was once again a land of peace, magic, and light. Princess Lara thanked Rowan, and the people of Evermere welcomed him as a hero. But Rowan knew his journey wasn't over. There were many more places to see and more stories to uncover. And so, he set off on a new adventure, carrying the wisdom of Evermere in his heart. Chapter 7. The Curious Traveler. One evening, a young traveler named Ethan arrived in Eldoria. He had been traveling for months, looking for adventure. When he heard the villagers talking about the mysterious golden light, he became very curious. Ethan approached an elderly man sitting near the fountain and asked, "Sir, what is the golden light that appears on the hill?" The old man smiled and said, "Ah, young traveler, that is the greatest mystery of Eldoria. Some say it is a hidden treasure. Others believe it is the spirit of the ancient guardians. But no one has ever dared to go there." Ethan, filled with excitement, decided that he would uncover the secret of the golden light. Chapter 8: The Journey to the Hill. The next night, when the full moon rose, Ethan set off toward the hill. The air was cool, and the sound of owls hooting filled the silence. The path was covered with soft moss and glowing blue flowers, which made the journey feel almost magical. As Ethan climbed higher, he saw an old wooden bridge leading to a cave. The bridge looked weak, but he had no choice. Carefully, step by step, he crossed it. Just as he reached the other side, he heard a whisper. "Who dares to enter the cave of Eldoria?" Ethan looked around, but no one was there. His heart raced, but he took a deep breath and replied, "I am Ethan, a traveler. I seek the truth behind the golden light." Suddenly, the cave entrance began to glow, and a soft voice spoke again. "Only the brave and the kind-hearted may enter." Ethan stepped inside and found walls covered in ancient carvings. At the center of the cave, there was a large crystal ball glowing with golden light. He touched it, and at that moment, he saw visions of the past. Eldoria. Eldoria was once home to a wise king who had protected the village with his magic. Before he passed away, he sealed his knowledge and power inside the crystal ball, ensuring that only someone pure of heart could find it. Ethan realized that the golden light was not a treasure of gold and silver, it was a treasure of wisdom. He promised to share the knowledge with the villagers so they could continue living in peace and harmony. When he returned to Eldoria, he gathered everyone and told them about his discovery. The villagers were amazed and thanked Ethan for his bravery. From that day on, the golden light of Eldoria was no longer a mystery but a symbol of knowledge, kindness, and unity. And so, the village of Eldoria continued to shine, not just with its magical fireflies, but with the wisdom and warmth of its people.